Alright guys, I'm going to make this quick. It's just going to be a quick recap of how I did at YCS Dallas. I wanted to make it to day 2, that was my goal. I got really close. I ended up going 5-3 and then dropping. As soon as you got that third loss, you're pretty much done. Couldn't make it to day 2. And the way I lost that third game was really demoralizing. So as soon as I got that loss, I didn't want to play the last round of the day. I just went and, chilled after that. But, round 1, I play in Zectors. We battle back and forth. It goes to game 3. Game 3, I have a great hand set up. Just couldn't draw monster. It happens sometimes when you run such a low monster count. But deck's usually really consistent. Just let me down there. So I start off 0-1. Round 2, I play against a Gladiator Beast player. Not really much to say. I 2-0'd him. Same thing with round 3. I 2-0'd Chaos Dragons. The guy he was just a little, like, one step behind. Like, he had to read a lot of my hero cards, and that's usually a red flashing light that this guy is probably not the best player. So at this point, I'm 2-1 out of 3 rounds. Round 4, I sit down across from a guy, and he has a Worm Zero mat. I'm like, okay, so he has a custom Worm Zero mat. This guy must love worms. And lo and behold, the first monster he summons is a Zex. And, it's Worm Chaos. He did actually get a game from me because I paid a large Solemn Judgment, and he attacked over my alias with a Honest Boosted BLS and then attacked directly for game. That really sucked. So, I did end up beating him, though. So at this point, that was, round 4. I am 3-1. Next round, I play against a Dino Rabbit player, and he wasn't bad, but I just had the answer to everything he was doing. And on top of that, he just wouldn't shut up. So, like, he just talk throughout the entire duel. And it seemed like he wasn't, like, paying attention, but then he would sit there and think for 5 minutes about his moves. It was really annoying, actually. So, beat him, 4-1. I'm looking good. I'm starting to move up in the tables. Next round, I play against Wind-Ups. The only Wind-Up player I saw all day. And I get skill drain out early on in both games, and I'm able to disrupt his plays with Torrential and Hero Blast. So, at this point, I'm 5-1, okay, out of 6 rounds. So, all I have to do is win 2 out of my next 3 rounds, and I'm going to day 2. So, I'm really pumped. I actually sat down with one of my friends at this point who had a similar record, and I said, listen, dude, we got this. All we have to do is finish strong. So, next round, I sit down. I'm towards the top. And the person I sat down across from is a Gravekeeper player that I played the week before, and he's part of Billy Brake's crew, so he's pretty skilled, tested against the best, and I don't like the matchup with Gravekeepers. They just have high defense monsters. I can't super poly anything off in the second and third game, and actually Necro Valley just straight up stops Hero Blast and Miracle Fusion, which are 2 of my power cards. So it was a really hard-fought match. Made it to game 3, and it pretty much came down to who's going to draw the monster first, and he drew it first. So at this point, I'm 5-2, and I can only lose 1 more round before I'm eliminated from day 2 contention. All right, I can't lose anymore. I have to finish 2-0. So I hype myself up, sit down across from the next player, and he's also playing heroes, but he's playing. It didn't look like Bubble Beat because I only saw one Bubble Man, and he wasn't like spamming his effect or anything, but he was running Bubble Man in his heroes. So we'll just fast forward to game 3, just the play of the game. It's towards the end. We're in time actually, and there's 1 more turn that I have to survive. Okay, so that's how crucial this is. I have it in my head that I'm gonna win. I have Super Poly set, and he has an Alias and summons a Stratos. So I'm like, all right. Time to Super Poly. I'm going to wait for him to go for his effect and then do it. So he activates his effect, he goes effect, picks up his deck, and I flip over Super Poly, discard for cost, and I get my, and I get the, excuse me, I can't even think right now, the Shining. And there's a judge sitting there because that's kind of what happens when you go into time. Judge sits there, make sure everything goes smoothly, and he looks at the judge and goes, I still get my effect, right? And the judge says, yeah. And so he goes, okay, I pop your back row. So he went from picking up his deck before my Super Poly to targeting my back row. I was like, Judge, he picked up his deck when he said effect. And the judge is like, well, he never actually declared the effect and you didn't check, so he can still activate it on your back row. So I'm like, what the fuck? So he actually ends up hitting a set D prison his very next move was turning my Shining and my Alias into a Shining of his own with his own Super Poly, because that's all this hero matchup was who's going to get Super Poly off at the right time. So at that point, I don't have my Deep Prison to protect myself, and he swings for game. It didn't even kill me, just knocked me below where he was, and the next round swung around, and I couldn't do any damage. So that was a backbreaker. That like broke my spirit because I felt cheated. I really did, and I hate the fact that I lost in time, first of all, because he was slow playing so bad. He wasn't a bad person, but, you know, he totally kind of pulled that win out of his ass by switching the effect, even though he didn't officially declare it. I guess you really got to be nitpicky with people at YCSs, and I can kind of see why certain people have been nitpicky towards me, like, oh, can I count your extra deck, stuff like that, just because stupid shit like that happens and you lose. So 5-3, I can't make it to day 2, and I end up dropping. And then we all know what happened on day 2. Nizar ends up going undefeated, winning with Dino Rabbit, and then getting his shit pushed in by Blake the Lotus McCrary.